Good everyone, in this video today we have a Event Vehicles episode on the Tismar, or as me and Harry like to call this thing, the Merry Tismas. Now, there's definitely going to be an argument in the comments below, most likely, between Flight and Harry discussing if this plane is good as a fighter, no doubt, and this is where I come in. Normally, I'm quite on the fence when it comes to this sort of thing. Normally, I just think they're both as bad as each other because it's like trying to look after two children. But I'm going to have to lean towards Flight a bit more here. The reason for that is the Tismar it's just not fighter worthy, I'm afraid. Like it can do a decent job. It's relatively maneuverable for what it is. Its guns are amazing, but the engines fall short. Its climb rate is a bit subpar, and yeah, this isn't really what it's built for. But I mean, that's that's the same with IL-2s, to be honest. Like, I play IL-2s as fighters. They're not designed for it, but they do the job relatively well. Thing is, though, the IL-2 would kick the Tismar teeth in 10 ways to Sunday. There's no sugarcoating it here. But I digress. So we have featured the Tismar on the channel before, quite a while ago. It was pretty much a video where I said this is the best cast plane in War Thunder, hands down. Like, for props, that is. And a lot of people agreed with me on that. And the thing is when you're trying to use it as a fighter, you can't take bombs. You shouldn't even take rockets. You need the extra performance. And even then, you still fall short in some areas. So, yeah, I wouldn't use this thing for its fighter duty. What I would use it, though, for is, well, first of all, tracers, because it's been a while since the last flew this thing. You want tracers on the 20, because tracers, or ground. I personally prefer ground if I'm in ground RV. But then you want to slap armored targets in the 37s. Now, there is an option to put the 45s on. I personally wouldn't do that because they have a lower cyclic rate. The 37 has a higher cyclic rate, in other words, it fires faster. So that's what I personally prefer. And of course, as you can tell by my favourite weapon loadouts, this is pretty self-explanatory. You have HE rockets for HE rocket jobs. You have 250kg bombs if you can't afford the 500s in ground RB, and then you have the 500s for obvious reasons. There's nothing I really need to say further to that point. But like I said, the main problem with the Tismar is the engines. These, whilst they do have pretty good power, the problem is this thing is a bit weighty, and that's putting that lightly. And obviously with it being similarly fueled like a Peshka, where the fuel tanks are all in the centre, your centre of gravity does feel quite crap, and if you're, let's just put it this way, if you lose an engine, it's not going to be easy to fly this thing back home on one engine. It's doable, don't get me wrong, but it's not easy. And obviously with this thing being now at 4.3, as opposed to the last time I flew it, like, dedicated at 4, or at 3.7, this can be quite tricky for it. Obviously, 5.3 has some very dangerous planes in the meta, and that's putting that lightly. So we're going to have to be very careful about that. But hopefully we should be able to stay low, deal with most of the targets that we can, get a bit of altitude, of course, for insurance, and maybe bitch slap some wyverns, which this thing does very well at. But hopefully we'll figure that out as we go along. Without further ado, let's get in and let's get cracking. So I'm looking forward to getting into the tanks for Russia, because Russia has a few interesting vehicles, as you can see down there, because obviously this is the last plane. But we've got one that I'm dreading, which is the Su-76D. I don't really like that. But then we've got my BT-7A, which I love that thing. I don't get to use it very much, so I'm looking forward to that. Then we've got the Su-85A, which of course I've not long owned myself, because, well, got it out of well, I think it was which one was it? I think it was like the sand bucket things. I can't remember, but I got one out of that, and I was absolutely buzzing. And unfortunately, there's going to be no bitch slapping wyverns, because we have wyverns on our team. Whoa. So, battle rating 5.0, it looks like, because we've got a A7M. And we've also got a Yak 3P. So, not bad matchmaking. Like, I've had worse, to put it simply. And there goes the Wyverns to go and steal the bombers' bases, because if it isn't a day where Wyvern doesn't do that, we're not in the true reality of War Thunder, let's put it that way. So I know I said don't bring rockets if you want to go fighter mode, but, well, I'd rather carry big, heavy 132 rockets than, you know, actually carry two 500-kilogram bombs, which weigh just over a ton. So I'd rather not do that. I'd rather take a few rockets, which, as you can tell by the raw weight, is almost a third of that. So, yeah. Anyway, it's going to take us a few minutes to not only get to altitude, because the engines are a bit crap, but also this map is quite big, so I'll see you shortly. Well, you joined me a few minutes ahead. I've unfortunately forgot to put my Tismar on my better crew, so yeah, that's just how it goes. Nope, eat some of that. I'm not taking a head-on with a 335. Ooh, hello there, beautiful. My aim's a bit off, but that's alright. That Doe 335 can't outrun us now, because he's got a dead engine and heavy damage. Oh, hello, P-47. You're more important than some, well, boss, to put it simply. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Hello, A7M. See? When you can slaughter things that you can easily kill, it's not bad. But the problem is that this thing runs into a lot of those, AK-190s. Brigand's going down, which is unfortunate. I'm going to try and help the A7 here. This thing has got good maneuverability for what it is. Couldn't quite get the shot there, so let's drop the flaps. Whoa, Spitfire! Friendly fire! Jesus! I'm going to leave that. The A7's got that. Although, I'm not a prick like that Spitfire who comes along and steals his kill. See, at that point, the Spitfire would be shot down, and then he can go, oh, why did you shoot me down? We shouldn't steal kills, prick. A7 worked hard for that. And nearly got killed getting it, so come on, give him a bit of respect. But this is where now, putting the armoured targets on definitely helps it out. Well, that's one way of saying it, A7M, but you don't need to be a prick. Yeah, I kind of approached it at a bad angle there, so that's why I didn't penetrate. But this is where actually packing, like, rockets and stuff can definitely help out, because you can save your cannon for important targets, and your 37s can really clean up these tanks. As we're about to demonstrate. All I'll do is take my throttle down a bit. And boom, there goes a huge chunk of their tickets. All I'll say is if you missed out on getting a Tismar, you definitely missed out on one of the best grinding planes for both ground target tasks and just tank RB in general in the game. Trust me, you missed out. There isn't really a candidate that can closely match it in the tech tree. Like, an SU-6 is pretty good at this job, but the SU-6 doesn't carry as much ammo, and people tend to focus an SU-6 a bit more. And also, an SU-6 doesn't have the rear gun coverage like this thing does. Thank you. But yeah, this thing is really fun. Like, I've always had fun with the Tismar, but as a dedicated fighter, it's only really good at taking out stuff that it can mop the floor with, like 335s, P-47s it can give a good running to, and just in general, like, it can do a lot of the different jobs that you require it to do. It's just not going to be as efficient as a fighter as many people think. But other than that, this thing really does do its job. And that's putting it lightly. But as you can see, we've just bled their tickets hugely, and we've still got a shitload of ammo. So, yeah, we've still got quite a bit to do. And like I say, in that single pass, we've just killed that entire lot of ground vehicles, and we've still got a bit of work to do before we win the match, but the simple fact of the matter is, our team doesn't look to be in a good position right now. But the simple fact is, we're forcing the enemy team to rush. There's no sugarcoating it. We are forcing them to rush. And unfortunately, by the time they realise that there's a Tismar farming the crap out of them, it's already too late. All we need is one more ground target and we win. The Tismar can clean up low threats and mess people's day up. What more can you really ask for? There you go, that is pretty much the Tismar in a nutshell, and we get a Sons of Attila trophy. Nice. But there you go. That is the Tismar in a nutshell. You just go around killing stuff, you farm the crap out of ground targets, put immense pressure on the enemy team, and by the time they realise it's too late, you're either already dead because someone actually decided to go for you, or their tickets are so dead, they lose the match within a couple of minutes after that. So yeah, this is definitely fun playing, and definitely is one that I would personally see if you can. Well, I mean, you can't really get this thing on the marketplace anymore. I mean, you can, but it's so expensive. But yeah, this is definitely one where if you didn't get it, you've missed out. And if you can't get it because it's too expensive, you've also missed out. Let's put it that way. But anyway, I'm going to leave you all to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing the Tismar in action, and I'll see you all on the next one.